Big news here in Mississippi. The jokesters that were elected as our state representatives decided to bypass a vote and went straight for the jugular to remove the state flag of Mississippi. My thing that I've said from the beginning is that if it goes to a vote, and if the overwhelming majority voted in favor of a new flag, you're not going to hear me complain. Because at the end of the day,
Mr. Mayor, I want to speak
my statement has always been about our constitutional rights. Okay? The rights that are afforded to us as citizens. It's not about us stars and bars. It's about the will of the people.
Sure, but this is the taxpayers' house. They have a right to speak. You have absolutely no right to say that they can't speak.
And you have elected officials that are making controversial moves that are ignoring that which the people vote for.
You're a cultural Marxist. Every
just spelled out
one
an
of you
epic
sitting there are
disaster
cultural Marxists
for society.
Because
it sets
keep
precedents.
the flag down.
Only bad things can come from it. Don't want to hear about one of the nastiest public corruption scandals. And what's crazy is I've literally mapped this thing out. Called every single phase of what's going on right now in advance, because I knew what happened. And you've got agencies that are obstructing justice, destroying evidence, and turning a blind eye, shoveling proof of innocence,
Jared Bundren,
and shielding criminal activity.
Hey, I'm here to show you how to conduct a proper investigation. You received a call on May 24th, 2017.
Heinous corruption.
I would like the details of that call.
To such a level.
Why are y'all cowards? Why are y'all cowards?
It helped get a female Democrat mayor elected.
I would like to. I'm trying to ask. You said no to.
Yep. Damning information, which would have had potentially devastating political ramifications from coming down the hopper. Her husband, the attorney of my ex, for the original child custody matter back in 2016, August of 2016. It was that time that my child was kept from me for approximately 2 months. It was the first extended period of absence that I took away from her. That was, she basically was used as a wedge, a negotiation tool. You got the May 1st, 2017 arrest. In front of that statue right there. Where I was holding the state flag of Mississippi. Standing on public property. Was not bothering a soul. Was not loud, nothing. Just standing on this very pavement that I'm standing right now, holding the state flag of Mississippi. But because that didn't fit the agenda of this city, the city being that it took it on itself to remove the state flag from city property, while all along taking taxpayer dollars from the state, from Jackson. My view hasn't changed on that. Never will. It's common sense. If you take state-funded tax dollars from your state, well, damn it, I think it should be an obligation that you fly the state flag. I don't think that's some far out there want and demand. May 1st, Deputy Sheriff Timmy Pruitt pulled up. He asked me if I had a permit to be here. I told him that I had the First Amendment. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I'm a patriot. I'm a 3%er. I took an oath at the end of 2007 to uphold and defend our Constitution from all enemies, both foreign and domestic. My oath had no expiration date. Nowhere in the military oath is there an expiration date that says that this oath is only good until the time of your service ends. And it's like that for a very particular reason. You see, when I took an oath back in 2007 to uphold and defend our Constitution, I swore an oath to our country and ultimately wrote a blank check to our government for an amount up to and including my life. Now, I wasn't deployed. I was never sent to a deployable squadron. In fact, I was in the air wing, and I was part of a non-deployable squadron that actually trained new pilots to fly the AV-8B Harrier and then get assigned to a gun squadron and sent overseas to drop bombs on Iraq. So I personally find my MOS and my job very crucial to the readiness of the Marine Corps and its officers to go and drop bombs on the bad guys. Okay? So I wrote a blank check to the government for an amount up to including my life. It's that reason right there alone that the oath that I took doesn't expire. So I wanted to know, and I still want to know to this day, how a city and a county has the right, feels that they have the right to supersede the Constitution, the law of the land. Because the last I knew, no law made by any city or any county ever had the effect of becoming a law and a lawful order if it directly clashed with that of the Constitution. And the First Amendment right guarantees my right to stand here on public property, whether or not I'm causing friction, whether or not I'm irritating people. It's my right, granted through the First Amendment, to have freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of the press. Just like, I'll point the camera over here, if y'all can see. You've got protesters over there holding signs, wanting the statue to come down. And I tell them every single time I talk to them, they have a right to be here. And honestly, they have the right to live, to be here free of harassment. You don't even need to have a permit. Shouldn't even be a requirement to have a permit. But see, that's the liberal hypocrisy, because I'll never hear that said to me. In fact, being that I'm a conservative, just the opposite. back in May of 2017, false reports were called up there about me causing problems on the square, even though I wasn't saying anything. I was just holding a state flag, had a gun on my hip.
You know, I am audio and video recording, Mr. Fred.
I don't care. You have a permit to be here.
The First Amendment, actually.
You have a permit to be here.
No.
All right, you gotta leave.
Why is that?
Because you're going to jail if you don't.
I'm going to jail just for standing out here and holding a flag.
Yeah. You have to leave.
Okay, where does that supersede? Let me just. Can I just ask you? Can I ask you a question?
I'm gonna ask you one more time to leave. If not, I'm gonna give you to jail just for the conduct.
Okay, I'll leave and take this straight to my attorney then. That's you can't threaten me with my First Amendment rights. Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, Mr.
Time for
Pruitt.
you to leave. One.
This fucking city is ass fucking backwards. Ass fucking backwards. Y'all see that? Hey, what's your badge number, by the way, Deputy Pruitt? No, I'm not. I'm leaving. I was asking you. I was asking you. I was leaving.
Long story short, Deputy Pruitt said I had to leave. I didn't have a permit or I was going to face arrest. Said I was going to take the video straight to my attorney. I couldn't be threatened with my First Amendment rights. His uniform was a little bare that day. He had forgotten to put his badge back on before coming out. I took about 7 steps off and I turned around to ask him what his badge number was. That infuriated him because it made him look horrible. As if he wasn't already doing a good enough job of that himself. When he came trying to trod on a Marine Corps veteran and a patriot's rights, stand there in solitude, by myself, not even as a group, holding the state flag of Mississippi. I was arrested. When I asked him what his badge number was, it infuriated him. He took me to the jail. I maybe was in the jail for about an hour before I posted bond. I grabbed my state flag. My car was parked right here on the square still. And I decided I was going to take a victory lap and walk from the sheriff's department with my state flag back to the square. And I did a victory lap around the square, holding my state flag, proudly holding my state flag. Because I knew what I did was not wrong. And you can try to paint me into a corner and try to demonize me all you want to. Fact is, even by the sheriff's department's own admission, and through multiple agencies, news agencies, I was arrested for holding the state flag on public property. Chain of events happens after that. Okay? I go to New Orleans, go stand up for the monuments under attack. I come back May 7th, May 8th. Alright? I have court the next day on a child custody hearing. I meet with my attorney for a lot of the day. I end up doing a countersuit against my ex, and I get the bright idea to go and serve her attorney with the countersuit. Oh, it was epic. Awesome. Hi, is Mona here? Mona?
You're not welcome here.
All right, I just wanted to say you are hereby served.
Actually, no, you have to start with the legal process.
Well, you're hereby served.
Hi, everybody.
Served her attorney, counterclaim. Saw them in court the next day. Just a bit of a fireworks clashing between the attorneys. Long story short, we'll fast forward the tape then. May 15th, I had spoken out in City Hall in Oxford City Hall. The city took it on itself to remove the state flag from city property while all along taking taxpayer dollars from the state, from Jackson. My view hasn't changed on that. Never will. It's common sense. If you take state-funded tax dollars from your state, well, damn it, I think it should be an obligation that you fly the state flag. Mayor Pat Patterson refused to allow me to address the board. And just like everything else in this town, they think they got it all figured out, and so be it. For your rights. I know that the First Amendment right also grants me the right to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Of course, with my grievance being the Mississippi state flag being taken down on city property in Oxford. I called the mayor and each of the board of aldermen a cultural Marxist if they stood in favor of keeping the state flag down while openly taking tax dollars from the state.
What is this? Mr. Mayor, I want to speak out on the state flag, like I said.
Mr. Reardon, we invite you to come to the June 6th meeting.
Sure, but this is the taxpayers' house. They have a right to speak. You have absolutely no right to say that they can't speak. No right. Where does that lie with you? You're a cultural Marxist. Every single one of you sitting there are cultural Marxists if you vote to keep the flag down. That is all it is. Complete cultural Marxism. I'm leaving. On it. On it. Say what I need to say.
I thought it was an absolutely tyrannical move made by the city. So about May 19th, I was patronizing Frank and Marley's, a bar on the square, just about every day, going there drinking, because it was right across from an attorney that I was good friends with, Charles Yao. And I would go in there and I would talk to him pretty frequently about everything going on. And I would go and I would have my drinks over at Frank and Marley's. Ashley Lynch did not like me as a person. She didn't like me as a person because she didn't like me as a salesperson from before. She thought I came across too pushy. And I was no longer with that company, and I wanted to smooth things over with Ashley, so I tried to motion for her to come over to the bar where I was sitting down eating a tray of chicken wings that I had just paid for. She wouldn't come over. I said, well, I think it's only right. I'm patronizing your bar, spending money here. I'm just simply trying to smooth issues over because I don't want any issues. She refused to have any of that. And I said, well, I think that's pretty fucked up. I'm over here trying to bury the hatchet with you. I don't want any drama. She came over, she grabbed my tray of chicken wings, and she threw them in the trash can, even though I paid cash for them. Wouldn't give me a refund, anything. So I walked out of the bar, I called for a boycott of Frank and Marley's. It turned into a back and forth between us on Facebook. What I like to call a meme war. Really them with the memes. It was them that created the YouTube channel that they called a 24/7 surveillance and watch of Oxford's Matt Reardon. Huh. Who does that sound like? Stalking. And then, honestly, I'll be the first to say, I don't feel like they did anything illegal, and I certainly didn't do anything illegal. They just weren't expecting me to play right back into it and not get all offended. For me to actually have fun with it and run along with them. So that happens. I'm sent proof that there's a death threat that's been made on my life by my ex and mother of my child. Also the one coincidentally represented by the mayor's husband. So May 20th, I go and I purchase an AR-15 and a bulletproof vest. So I had every right to do, protect myself and my family. Had a drunk stream that night. That's my biggest regret. It's during these live streams that really spurred the claims made that I was making threats on the Lynches and their business as well as the Tannehills. And all in all, it came down to information that I was given. My child being used as a weaponized tool at the court against me, kept from me, and had me very emotional. May 22nd, restraining order, emergency injunction, is filed by Ray Tannehill, who is representing his wife, Robin Tannehill, the mayor-elect, as her attorney. So, I'm hunted down the next day, May 23rd, on campus, 2 sheriff's deputies. They pull me over to give me a restraining order. The 24th, a mysterious phone call comes in to Lafayette County Sheriff's Department for Sheriff's Investigator Jared Bundard. Jared took this call where it was stated that I was making threats against Franken Marley's and Todd and Ashley Lynch. Now Jared. Better off suited for a Subway commercial. Definitely not investigating a crime. I swear that man was made for Subway. What an idiot. He claims that he investigated my Facebook profile. Claims that he investigated my Facebook profile, and in that, he said that he saw proof of multiple threats, which were never any threats of physical harm, ever. In fact, I've clearly stated in all my videos, even way back then, before that I wouldn't go on the offensive. I'm there to protect myself, my family, and innocent bystanders. Those unable to defend themselves. May 25th, the next day, I meet with the FBI at the local field office here in Oxford. I meet with them for a couple of reasons. Because of the death threat that was made against me, that I had screenshots of. There's already a liberal hypocrisy like none other shown in this area. You see plenty of proof of that with Riding with the Outlaw. Plenty of proof of it. But I also met with him because I felt like my First Amendment rights had come under attack. To protect somebody coming on board as the mayor. See, I had actually done what Mayor Pat Patterson had said, even though I felt like I didn't have to, because I sure didn't want to get told I couldn't speak the next time. And I put myself on the agenda to address the Board of Aldermen on June the 6th, the next Board of Aldermen meeting. And I was slotted to speak right after Joey East. The article is in the local Voice. Well, when I got pulled over May 23rd and given the restraining order, essentially keeping me 500 feet away from the Tannehills, from Robin Tannehill, who is the whatever alderman who's going to be there, because she was an alderman, it effectively barred me from speaking. So I met with the FBI about these two issues that were major issues. Coincidentally, the next day, May 26th, I'm surrounded on the square by sheriff's deputies, arrested, not told what I was being arrested for until they got me to the jail. There, I was hit with the affidavit that I was on or before May 8th. I put the Lynches in fear of their life with an AR-15 at their house. How could that be? When I purchased the AR-15 on May 20th. And I did so because I had a death threat made to me. The FBI stood by with their hands in the cookie jar, refusing to show any proof. I mean, they've got their own cyber crimes division. Surely, through the sit-down meeting that I had with them, they would be able to surely shed some light, because after all, wasn't Michael Flynn charged with lying to the FBI? So, therefore, where am I lying? Because if I was lying to the FBI about purchasing the AR-15 on May 20th, then where's the FBI right now to arrest me for lying to the FBI? Crickets. And it's because at this very time, the FBI was a politicized weapon. A politicized weapon that was documented in full detail with the disgusting, absolutely disgusting, illegal wiretapping campaign that they conducted on General Michael Flynn. No reason to actually ever wiretap the guy. And then when they charged him, they threatened that if he didn't plead guilty to something that he didn't commit, that they were going to come after his son. I mean, how disgusting and low down can you get? The FBI is causing more harm to society than they're causing good. Fact. They've turned into a politicized weapon that allows an innocent person to get framed, knowing that they had the proof. So I sit in jail from May 26th, get a bond hearing May 30th. Judge meets with the sheriff's investigator behind closed doors for about 10 minutes prior to coming out. I'm in an orange jumpsuit. She reads me the charge. I said, "Your Honor, I'd like to address the court." She said, "Mr. Reardon, you have the right to remain silent." And I said, "I know what my rights are. Damn it, I know what my rights are. Take a stand for them. But I don't choose to invoke it. In fact, right now, I choose to invoke my first, my freedom of speech." She wouldn't let me speak to address the court to show that the state had absolutely zero proof, zero evidence, and that I had 100% evidence of my innocence. Crooked. And even more crooked was that she had judged a $150,000 cash bond. Or $150,000 bond. It was written out in the Oxford Eagle, which we know how much credibility to pay to them. But I was given a $150,000 bond. It was already 2 days past the allotted window for me to actually get a bond hearing. You're only supposed to get 2 days. They made me sit in jail for 4. They did that with a goal in mind, because the mayor's election was June the 6th, exactly 7 days later. All right? Exactly 7 days later, the mayor would become elected in an unopposed race. She would become Oxford's 36th mayor she would scathe through without any political ramifications or anything backfiring in the process of her becoming elected. No roadblocks, no Mississippi patriot that stood for everything that she didn't, which is the Constitution. I had a crooked-ass attorney by the name of Brendan Horan. Didn't know at the time when he was hired to replace my public defender, which, matter of fact, the public defender did everything, and I didn't even realize it. And Horan did absolutely nothing. Horan viciously destroyed me. Horan proved exactly why he doesn't need to be an attorney. He showed the direct harm that a conflict of interest can cause. He has me go ahead and sign off on a permanent restraining order, okay? Which, had I have actually read the restraining order the way it was written up, that was written up based on constitutionally protected activity such as running an aggressive internet campaign against Robin Tannehill, being a strong advocate of the Mississippi state flag, being arrested in front of the statue for holding the state flag May 1st of, calling corruption where it stood. What's wrong with the judge for even allowing that to even pass through? That directly harmed the integrity. Directly harmed the integrity of the court that day. And it showed that judges, especially in this liberal hypocrisy of a city, they go down partisan lines, and it's all a favor-driven system. I only did that. I only signed that bogus thing, which I didn't even read the report. I was just given the permanent restraining order page to sign off on with him. Did that because he told me it would make this sham shit go away. Nope, it didn't. Sure didn't. Guys, it is raining, so I'm going to take you with me. Oh. Bear with me a second. Y'all, these are crimes against humanity that have been committed, especially with how far they took it. And it's no different than a Hillary Clinton Democrat scandal. The mayor was elected on June 6th, unopposed. They had me away, they had me silenced because I was in jail. Couldn't post bond. And on I think it was June 29th or June 28th, it was the last Thursday in June, Tannehill was sworn into office as Oxford's 36th mayor. Coincidentally enough, the following Thursday, 7 days later, a plea deal comes down the hopper. And I'm told that if I don't take it, that they're going to throw the book at me. They're going to hit me with a heap of other charges, all in order to get a guaranteed conviction, to get me gone one way or the other. And my attorney said, while he knew that, without a doubt, that I was innocent of the crime which I was charged, that it didn't matter when the system wanted you, they were gonna figure out a way to to make it happen. That's why this whole time with writing with the Outlaw, it has been so important to me to publish my discoveries. Because honestly, at the end of the day, that is the only thing that is out there protecting. Because if it were up to these people, the agencies involved, the agencies tasked with preventing public corruption, with preventing corruption in law enforcement agencies, it all would have been swept under the table. That's what they were doing the entire time. They were obstructing. U.S. Attorney's Office, over 6 weeks' time, called them many times, leaving a voicemail, because my statute of limitations was running out for me to show, without a shadow's doubt, without any reasonable doubt, that I couldn't have possibly committed the crime in question. U.S. Attorney's Office refused to even call me or look at the heap of evidence that I had. A whole chest of evidence. I mean, literally, it was every single thing. Just about every element proven at that point. The U.S. Attorney's Office wouldn't even look at it. FBI, nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. But is that really a surprise? So I did a public records request for the 302, which is the investigative report that was produced after a sit-down meeting with the FBI. Okay, anytime FBI agents meet with a citizen, they have to put that information, log that information into what is called a 302. It's like a formal police report. I put in the FOIA request with the FBI. They have a 20-day window to comply. I even put an expedite request on there. Because my statute of limitations was running out. It's, I don't know, a month, at least a month past the expiration date, and the FBI is still yet to even open my file to assign it a number. Through several calls, I've been led to believe, both through talking to the local field branch office in Oxford, Mississippi, as well as speaking with the Jackson headquarters, as well as speaking with their main headquarters, wherever it's at, Virginia, wherever, that they cannot locate my 302. Wanted to know a description of the agents that I met with. Like that's supposed to be somehow my responsibility to keep up with. During an absolute crazy time in my life and an even crazier time of being framed for a crime I couldn't have committed. And now I'm led to believe that the 302 that would prove exactly everything that was discussed at that meeting has grown 2 legs and just hopped and skipped off. And the funny, ironic thing, it's not funny. It's ironic and it's freaking sickening. Is that if it came down to somebody's ability to purchase a gun, and even if it was bogus information in their system, because it was political, you can bet your ass that they wouldn't lose that 302 if it prevented somebody from making a gun purchase. But an innocent American who's a Trump supporter, which the FBI hated at that time, and they still do. Then it's, let's just forget about his 302. he doesn't matter. We're going to let the system swallow him whole. Guess what? Shit ain't happening, Jack. Not without one hell of a battle royale going down over my rights. Especially when I've unearthed everything that I've unearthed over the last 3 months. They clearly didn't care about it backfiring on them. And they didn't care because they were so well banded together. They had everybody in the local government protecting each other's ass on this. Executive branch, legislative branch, judicial branch, attorneys. Oh, and there's some other key actors as well. So here's the thing. I've been asking for that May 24th phone call for the past month and a half, when I found out through a public records request that Sheriff's Investigator Jared Bundren received a mystery phone call on May 24th, 2017. I brought my reporting to the Sheriff's Department to seek answers, steadily requesting this May 24th phone call, recorded phone call, information about the call, who's on it, who made the call. It's very important. They would not comply. They've gaffed it off from the beginning. Jared Bundren. Hey, I'm here to show you how to conduct a proper investigation. I would like to, do you have a minute? You don't? You received a call on May 24th, 2017. I would like the details of that call. Jared, I put in a public records request. Why are y'all not complying with the public records request? Sheriff Joey East, I would have loved to have said okay with him. I didn't want to have any problems with the sheriff. Joey East! How you doing, sir? I needed to get a little Q&A with you. You don't do Q&As? Well, can you answer a few questions for me?
No, I can't.
Why is the county not wanting to comply on the public records request? You told me...
You probably have to ask the county.
You told me that if I submitted it, y'all would comply. That was the last time that we spoke.
I told you we'd look at it.
You said no. You said that we'll comply. You said submit it and we'll comply. Why haven't I gotten the... Really, Sheriff, is this really the position you're going to take? Why won't you even answer that? Look, hey, y'all will not respond to anything. Any email, any public records request, anything. I want to know why. I am holding our county officials accountable for this. You know I was framed. We've already had that discussion, Joey. You know I was framed. Huh? That was one of your ringleaders right there. You know that y'all coerced me. Y'all coerced me under stress and used my daughter.
I did?
Yeah, y'all twist. No, the Tannehills did, is who really did it.
Did you plead guilty? Did you plead guilty?
I followed the sham advice. Okay, well, hey, why are y'all trying to protect? Who are you trying to protect? Is it that there's no call that came in, or is it that there's somebody like Robin Tannehill or Ray Tannehill that's on that call? I want to know.
Did you plead guilty?
Who's on the call?
Did you have an attorney?
Who's on the call? Was there a call or was there not a call? It was on the police report that I got from May 30th.
Whatever medicine you're off, I think you need to go
Really?
take medicine or something.
Really?
I don't understand what you're talking about.
The response of the sheriff.
Guilty.
But you know, it's this personal to me when it comes to my rights, that I took an oath to our country to uphold and defend. From everything that I've gathered, and from the way that these corrupt actors are acting, it is my opinion that the masked actor that made that phone call, May 24th, happened to fall in the executive office over there. And it is my opinion that the motive of that was a backup contingency plan, which also saw major benefits to four parties in general. First party, Timmy Pruitt and the Fayette County Sheriff's Department. This was all conjured up plan to get that problem out of their way. They have to worry about a lawsuit for an unconstitutional arrest made. They slid the problem out of the way for the mayor to get elected June 6th. They got the problem out of the way with Frank and Marley's.
Us as a community, we do need to get together and try to figure out our problem resolution here, because Matt Reardon is a danger to our society, and he's going to be a problem. Mark my words.
To help a mother of a 2-year-old child ultimately get the father out of the way, but not his money out of the way. They made sure to go ahead and take care of taking a withholding order out for $600 a month, every month. It was held from my income, my residual income that I had built up from the years prior, and paid to her every month. So she got the money and she got the child. She played a huge part in setting this up for the other ringleaders. These people are criminal. They should be charged, and they should see the inside of a prison cell. Without a doubt. Public corruption stemming from any government position where that person is working in an official capacity for the government, the local government. I think any public corruption stemming from that, especially the framing of an innocent person, especially for furtherance of a political mission, I can't think of anything more deserving of a charge of treason and of a punishment warranting capital punishment, because of the peace, dignity, and integrity of the state and the government, which was severely taken a hatchet to, and very likely may never fully recover from. I talked to the county attorney, David O'Donnell, about the county's willful and contumacious disregard for my public records request in producing that call that I have every right to know. There was never a discovery motion done in my case. Never a discovery motion done in my case. I was never indicted. I pled out to an information-only crime. I was not afforded due process. My rights as a citizen were slaughtered. But to seriously go to every extent to frame an innocent man and cover up the evidence They make him sign a covenant to not sue Lafayette County, the Sheriff's Department, the City of Oxford, the elected officials, its employees, by way of removing their liability. And I'd like to see them argue that. How do you argue the facts? Every single bit of what I just stated were the facts. Quid pro quo. Everybody wins. This one loses everything. I told y'all in the beginning that this was likely going to be a modern day David versus Goliath. And that's what it's turned out to be. I didn't realize that this corruption would grow to such a heinous and disgusting level where agencies are covering up, are hiding proof that would exonerate an innocent man that was framed. But it was part of their plan from the beginning. They just picked the wrong guy to pull it on. And I'll finish it off with this, because I said I was going to address this topic. Trickle-down corruption. It's an existential issue. Because with trickle-down corruption, see, everybody has somebody a step up. A ringleader, you could call it. That ultimately is pulling the puppet strings. This city, this county are being torn right down the middle in a moral dilemma because they're having to choose between upholding and defending the Constitution, abiding by the oath that they took, or adhering to the rules of their supervisors. Unconstitutional, lawless rules that are passed that unfortunately these officers are having to choose between good and evil. If they don't follow the demands set by their supervisors, by their higher-ups, they face punishment, losing their job, suspension. So trickle-down corruption, it's a problem that needs to be stomped out, or else it's going to be the downfall of our society, I'm telling you.